What's going on, collective? It's your boy Adam Raw. Welcome to my channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, man, it's kind of late, but I had got this like epiphany or this revelation last night, and at first I was just gonna wait till tomorrow, but yeah, just couldn't wait, right? Okay. So basically, what I got here is that I was called to talk about the Lilith or the Black Moon in Scorpio, or Lilith in Scorpio, that placement. So if you notice, I don't know if you've been going through this or not, but somebody has, well, I know I've been dealing with all spiritual warfare or whatever, and I was laying down and something was like Lilith in Scorpio, right? So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So, I was going to go to sleep, and then my mind was like, now I got to look it up, right? So I went and I started reading it, started looking it up or whatever, right? And basically what I found out was that it was like the characteristics of everything that I've been talking about, everything that all these readers have been talking about, especially in terms of, especially if you're on that twin flame journey or whatever it may be, right? Well, there's this placement where it's like Lilith and Scorpio, right? And basically the Lilith and Scorpio is called like the Black Moon. It's kind of like the repressed dark aspect of yourself, right? So the reason, I'm guessing, like I was drawn to it for some reason, and I didn't know why. So when I looked it up, come to find out, it was like with the Lilith and Scorpio, it was kind of like it was like, it had to do with someone who have a lot of like parent problems, especially in the household. Like they don't get a lot of attention. People don't pay them no mind. Like, it could be like mother or father issues or whatever. And this person is kind of like, they experience sexual trauma in their life, right? When they experience the sexual trauma, what ends up happening is they develop, they have a tendency to develop trust issues and stuff like that. And they are likely to become like colder than most people. But also it's like these people have a tendency to get involved in like BDSM, like dom, submissive kind of shit, right? So I'm like, okay, that's wild. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on. Okay, so after that, it was kind of like, I was like, wow, like, is that what they do? Like, because at first it used the word sadomasochism or something like that, right? And I'm just like, I kind of know what it is, but I don't know what it is, right? So I looked that up, right? So that led me to know that it was like sadism and masochism or something like that, where it's somebody who is devoid of emotions, and what they do is they get off on hurting other people. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that's their sexual triggers, is watching people in pain and hurt and stuff like that. So that's why, you could be dealing with someone who's doing spell work, and it's like everything is going good and then it's going bad. That's what they do. They beef you up to strip shit away from you. They give you something to take away, right? So it's like this person has dual personalities or whatever. And it's kind of like, in one aspect, they will stop doing spell work, or they'll stop for a minute, right? And that's for everything to go well with you, to build up your self-esteem, to make you all normal, and, you know what I'm saying, thinking everything is good or whatever, like you're victorious or whatever it may be. And then that's when they start doing a shitload of fucking spell work or whatever on you, okay? And that's to make you angry, bring you into chaos, you know what I'm saying? And this is stuff that they experience. This all comes from an unhealed mind, body, soul, or complex or whatever, right? That's where all of this comes from, right? This comes from the black moon, okay? Comes from the subconscious self, the unconscious self, right? Am I saying that you should have pity on this motherfucker? Hell no. Because this person only understands power. That's it. That's the only thing they understand is power and what gives them power or make them feel powerful or, have some kind of authority over other people, right? So this sadist mind state is kind of like they do stuff to try to humiliate you, hurt you, which is why you were, dealing with a lot of gossip, a lot of talking and stuff like that. There was a lot of cheating out here. There was a lot of, I know, for the most part, there was a lot of women out here doing a lot of work, especially with men and stuff like that. That's because you have a group who is aspiring to be like this dom submissive group, right? So this is what this whole video is about right here. This next thing I'm going to say. I looked into it further because I'm like, I wonder, like, no, I forgot what it was. Oh, it was like, it was kind of the thing where it was just like, okay, well, let me look this up further, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, talking about dominant and, submissive stuff. And I was like, well, some of the readers were talking about it, but it's like people were getting recorded and shit like that, right? Oh my God. Tell me why I looked this shit up. Clear as fucking day. It was talking about this one dominant submissive group, or this cult basically. It's basically a cult. And what they do is they use sex magic on the initiates, like the submissive people, the initiates. That's what they're doing. They're using sex magic on these people to make them submissive to them, right? So it's kind of like all these older women. These women are women with degrees. They could be affiliated with sororities. That's the vibe that I get. Definitely sororities, affiliations, like ACATs and stuff like that, AKAs and all that shit, This is some people who normally they operate out of big cities, right? So the vibe that as I've read further, there's like rules that they have to apply by. Like, it's all about power. It's all about the transfer of power. Like somebody might feel good about themselves when they transfer power to you, and then they go and they strip it back from you. So that's why you were dealing with someone who keeps putting spell work on you, someone who keeps projecting negative and dark energy onto you. They don't feel any emotions at all. They don't feel anything. They're numb. And it all stems from them being raped. Like in some instance, it's a man who, for some people, there was a man who was having sex with men in a church basement. There was a man who was being raped by, I think, him and his brother is gay or something like that, or bi or something like that. One of them, either way, it had to do with someone who experienced traumatic sexual, something traumatic sexually, like being raped. There was this one man who was raped in prison, and they raped him, and after they kept raping him and stuff, after a while, he acted like he started liking it. And so when he got out, what ended up happening was, it was like, he comes off as this masculine guy, right? Masculine energy or whatever like that. But he was very abusive towards women. He was very abusive towards his kids and stuff like that. And come to find out, he, was really, gay. He was cross-dressing. And that was another thing about like doms and submissives, or those who are involved in masochist and sadism or whatever, especially if it's an extreme sexual addiction. There's like men who dress up like women, and possibly the other way around too, and they dress up as the opposite sex like that. Like they get off on humiliation and they're transferring of power, feeling helpless. And when you go after these people, or when you speak out against these people, the first thing that they do is they play victim. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he's attacking me, or he's making me feel bad, or this and that. And then they take that and they project it out. They bring other people's attention to it. And then they use that as a reason to doing the fucked up shit that they do to you. And then when nobody's looking, they'll start fucking with you and fucking with you till you get all mad and pissed off. And then after that, they'll come back and then they'll start fucking with you, you know, showing you off like, oh, he did this to me and this and that. And you know what I'm saying? And then they start fucking with you all over again, right? And it goes back and forth like that over and over again. It's an endless loop of that because this is their emotional supply chain, basically, right? This has to do with survival and dying off in a sense. So the only thing that could stop this is if you show up to their house and you beat the shit out of them, right? Now, if you do that, guess what? You're going to secure your power over them. And every time they think about you, they're going to think about the ass whooping that they got. And that's going to stop them from doing what they're doing, right? So the whole point of this is to stay secretive, right? They don't want people to know who they are. They've been making videotapes of people. They've been trying to initiate people. They've been using voodoo dolls, hoodoo dolls. They've been using all kind of fucking magic in accordance with this dominant submissive shit to draw people in and to initiate them into basically the sex industry, right? So with that being said, there is also the concept of like this, I want to say like, I had a vibe. Remember I told you I had a dream that I had. It was about a very like, it was like almost like a malnutrition girl who was really, really skinny. She came to my dream again the other day, and she was at my job, and she just kept like throwing herself at me, like trying to get me to have sex with her and stuff like that. But it wasn't the normal way girls would do it. You know what I'm saying? What was different was that I could hear it in her voice that something wasn't right, something was wrong, and it's the fact that she's underage. So the vibe that I was getting is that there's definitely someone being held against their will somewhere when it comes to this person using magic or whatever it is, this bondism and, you know, stuff like that. So I do believe that the police is going to start investigating these places, because what's happening is it's people out here who's getting initiated against their will into these dominant and submissive like sex places, right? If that's what you want to call it, right? Some people don't even know. They don't even know. But yet you have somebody who is like has like a crystal ball or something like that, or doing remote viewing of some kind of way, and then they are like setting up cameras in people's houses, hacking people's phones and stuff like that, and they're recording what's going on, and illegally, because they don't have your permission. They don't even have, they don't have your permission. They don't have my permission. They don't have the person. They don't have anybody's permission to record you, but they're doing it anyway. And the police is getting involved in something like this. This is a huge case, right? Like the police is getting involved, right? Now what's going to happen? Well, I can see a few things happening here, but I have to wait before it comes out to say, you know what I'm saying? So basically what's going on here is that, yeah, someone's trying to start a cult, trying to be a cult leader in a sense. And they're like initiating people against their will. It's kind of like sex trafficking. Matter of fact, it is sex trafficking. That's what it is. That's what the weight would be carried out as, especially if you're recording someone without their permission or will or knowledge. It's a form of voyeurism is what they call it. And people who are involved with voyeurism, they can be caught through IP address subnet. Like they'll try to mask it through IPs and proxies and stuff like that. So if you do have a cell phone and stuff like that, try to figure out a way to either get you, if you feel like this is you, get you a new phone or something, and, get you a firewall of some sort, a good firewall. That way, if someone is recording you through your phone or whatever it may be, it's kind of like there will be a block there, or there's some kind of way that they can trace or track it back. So in most cases, you know, some people, they can't trace or track it back, right? So this brings me back to the point of someone I used to know. This person was a fan of a movie, Girl with the Spider Tattoo, right? And now that all of this is coming out, that's exactly who I know it to be in my life, who's been sending all kind of spell work towards me. I had no clue that this person was sending all kind of spell work towards me. I knew it was something up. I knew it was a lot of like gossip and stuff like that. But as the years went on, it's kind of like it was a circumstance situation where it was like everything kind of like died off, because it was like, you know, I was like, you know, it is what it is, right? And so after that, like after I got through it or whatever, where it was like, you know, the hardships in life and stuff like that, like I got through all of that. Next thing I know, it was like, you know, somebody was using voodoo dolls, basically, right? So, you know, and then through tarot readers and stuff like that, I started realizing that they were sending like, you know, summoning all kind of spirits and stuff to come in my way and shit like that. So, do I believe this is happening? Absolutely. I do believe it. I do believe I went through this right here. I do believe it. And I know it to be true, right? So, with that being said, as soon as the right circumstance come up, I'm definitely going to be on the front lines fighting for this heads down. I'll be the first one out there to fight for this kind of shit. Because we do need, like, in an instance like this, it's like we do need some kind of legislation when it comes to using magic and the properties of magic. Because there's people out here who don't even, like, they abuse magic or whatever it may be. Like, you know, puppets and stuff like that were originally designed to help people heal, you know what I'm saying, or bring certain people to justice who've done wrong things. But if you've done nothing wrong, or if you were just on somebody, you know, just because you made someone mad or whatever it may be, like, the only thing I was guilty of was telling this person that I didn't love her. And to this day, I don't love her. It was somebody else that I loved at the time, and I still love that person. And that's something that this person could not handle. So what did it do? Malfunction, glitch. First thing she thought about was warfare, magic and shit, right? Long story short, that inspired someone else to do it too, right? So, yeah. But anyway, here I am standing tall, and I just wanted, I don't know who all else actually had to go through something like this, but I am letting you know, like, the vibe that I get is that it's gonna come to a head. But it's certain things that's got to be done first before it could come to a head, right? There could be, most of the time, there's some kind of woman, like a female, like an older woman who's older than the rest, who wants to be in charge of something, right? I guess the best way to, like, find people like this is people who don't like to feel powerless, right? There's, in this cult or initiate on this cult or whatever, there's this people who use like psychedelics and stuff like that. Like they're abusing drug use. Like some are using coke, some are heroin, shrooms, pills, alcohol, whatever it is to enter into an altered state. You know what I'm saying? Because without that altered state, they don't feel like they have power over their lives. So God is going to bless it where they're going to be fully conscious in this realm about what's going on, you know, at all times. No matter how much they snort, no matter how many pills they take, no matter how much alcohol you consume, you will always be sober enough to realize how fucked up your life is. And that's what's going to happen to them, right? All right. So that took 20 minutes. Me, myself, I did not intend to pull cards, but I'm going to pull a few cards and see what's going on. Ancestors, spirit guides of the highest ask you to reveal to me what we need to know most. I don't think that this is just with these people. I think it goes high up. I think this is industry, because it was some people getting paid $200 a session for shit like this without people even knowing. You know what I mean? It's some people who's out here, and you know, most of the times you wouldn't know, right? But yeah, it's somebody out here into some real dark shit. So whoever, whatever this covenant is, and then too, it's like, if they are under investigation, it has something to do with some tapes. There's some tapes here. Because the thing is that with the tapes, they have to keep them on file in order to get paid. Because if you don't keep those tapes, guess what? You don't get paid. And if you're being tapped, your phones and stuff like that is being tapped, guess what? 9 times out of 10, if you're under investigation, the police has that too, and they're gonna subpoena that shit. You know. So that being said, I wanted to take a darker approach to this reading today. Normally I keep it all love and light, but there's some stuff that I wanted to know myself about this reading. Because apparently, if they're using that kind of work on you, they could be using that against the investigators or people who's been investigating this stuff this entire time. And if that's the case, we need to figure out a way to help them. You know, we need to pray as a collective over the lives, the minds, the bodies, and the souls of the investigators who are involved in this case, right? May all magic formed against them not prosper and backfire in major ways, so that everyone can see what's going on, right? Oh, what a time to be alive, right? Man, that's crazy. With a message like that, I feel like a creepy motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, you know how those creepos be, the ones who be looking at weird shit? Like, that's the kind of motherfucker I think of. Okay, so here we go. Overall message here. Lovers, some kind of commitment, connection, or relationship here. So maybe somebody involved in this group was thinking marriage, or wants to marry you, or wants to be with you in some kind of shape or way, shape, or form. So what kind of energy we got here? Blossoming abundance in reverse. Yeah, it's not going to be a fruitful marriage or whatever it may be, obviously. You know, somebody wants, like, give me the vibe of somebody wanting to solidify their power over you through marriage. And that's exactly what this looks like, right? That being said, if you are unmarried, it is time for you to take up a husband or a wife and just go get married. Or this could just be talking to me. Might be time to get married. And I got a good candidate in mind too. I do. Okay, so we got the Nine of Swords and Nine of Wands in reverse and the Strength card right here. So yeah, this isn't the time to be defensive or back, you know what I'm saying, backed into a corner. This is the time to take up strength, voice your opinion like I'm doing now, and standing up to the circumstance and situation here, right? That is another reason that I brought this up, is because there was some women out here who are in relationships with certain men that they didn't know why this man was mad all the time, or beating them, or always hanging out with certain other men. And I'm not saying all of them are like this, but I am saying in this circumstance situation, there was one reader who was talking about I think it was Spiritual Sag or something like that, who was saying like, there's a man out here who just hang with his homies all the time. But in reality, secretly, he's been having sex with them because of the sexual trauma of what happened to him, right? Could be his prison buddy. And that's something my dad was telling me. He was like, you know what? Most of the time when, you know, these men, they get out of prison, a lot of time they end up going back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, they end up staying in contact and friendly with their prison mate. And that's because they've been, you know, and I was just like, I was like, hold the fuck a minute. Like, this ain't the conversation you have with your son, man. It was like, I'm just saying, all the people I know with the jails like that. He was so fucking funny, man. So yeah, you have this thinking woman. This woman, there's a woman or a feminine energy out here who's thinking of a way to keep you defensive at all times, right? Remember, that's that energy, right? That's that energy. This give me the vibe of somebody who wants to marry you or be in a commitment with you just to keep you on the edge at all times and record the results to further get more money out of it. It's like somebody who will come home or something with you to get you all riled up or angry or whatever when all else fails, just to get money off of you, as well as take money from you. So this could be a masculine woman, a feminine woman or a feminine man. But yeah, there's definitely a woman energy out here who's plotting on a way to keep you on the ropes or defensive, right? And they don't want you to walk away from this, although you have your strength, right? They don't want you to have the strength to walk away. That's what it is. And so they're gonna, whoever this is, they want to keep you in this hurt energy. This it is basically, it's their energy, right? They're projecting their energy onto you. So what's going to have to happen is the stuff that they need to employ in their lives. You're going to have to use that for healing energy to get through this. Because like I said, hurt people. The way that they were hurt in life is the way that they're going to, project onto you. If they were hurt by somebody raping them or whatever, or beating the crap out of them, then they're going to come and say humiliating stuff to you, try to do stuff to you, to try to do to you what was done to them, what stole their light. This is the circumstance of someone who has missing light. Someone stole their light, they see your light, and now they want to steal your light from you, right? They don't think it's fair that you have light, okay? That's not going to happen. I'll just say it. That is not going to happen. And you know what? If I just want this motherfucker to get brolic enough to try to step to me like, in real life. Because up until this point, the person I was dealing with, because it's like, I know who initiated it, right? Or I have a feeling I know who initiated it. And I could be wrong, but I doubt that. And another aspect of this was that a lot of psychological games. So this person could have a degree in psychology, okay? So have an eye out for that. If you are dealing with some kind of spiritual warfare, if my story sounds similar to yours, look out for somebody who is educated or has a degree in psychology or some kind of degree that, some kind of college degree in a sense. And I know it's like, oh, everybody got that, but, strong emphasis on psychology, okay? Whoever this is, like I was talking about the Lilith and Scorpio, the energy from that is basically the kind where it's like they are able to convince people of a lot of stuff. They're very charismatic, right? Very charismatic, okay? They are able to convince people of something happening and something not happening. You know what I'm saying? So this is someone who has a mouthpiece on them, gift of gab, right? But they use it in the wrong way. That's how I know that they have a placement of Lilith and Scorpio. And if not that, then they definitely have the placement of Saturn and Capricorn, in which they feel like life was really hard for them. And so they don't think it's fair that other people has it easy. They think everybody need to work hard. What was that? I just saw this big ass this big ass I want to say it's like a mirror portal halo over my bed. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, that shit coming down tonight. I don't know what the fuck that was. Matter of fact, it looked like this ghoulish thing I call a painting right here. But I like that painting, My bad. I don't know what y'all think about it, but I kind of like that painting, All right, so this is what's to come. Yeah, it looks like right now, whoever this person is, they're focusing on their finances right now. Because they took some losses here, and whoever it is, they're focused on their money, their finances right now. Somebody took a major L here, or somebody took an L. They're focused on the L that they have taken here, right? So as of right now, somebody is trying to avoid the death of a situation, and this is the thinking man in reverse. one of the people who were plotting against you could have been a masculine energy that was plotting against you. Right now, they're trying to avoid a transformation. They're trying to avoid death. They're trying to keep something alive. They're trying to avoid letting something die here, right? There's some kind of avoidance here, some kind of avoidance energy here, right? Next we have, the Knight of Wands, and you have daughter personal healing and happiness here. So somebody is trying to use like sex magic to heal themselves, or trying to, be promiscuous. Yeah, give me the vibe of sex magic to try to heal yourself. That's the vibe that I'm getting here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this person is something that this person don't want to let go of. And like I said, it's something has to do with money or financial constraints. It's kind of like somebody is kind of like it's kind of like someone is stuck on like finances right now. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Where's the will at? So somebody out here want financial stability for sure. Whoever this person is, they want financial stability. You see what I'm saying? This indecisive energy is like it's like that's what this is all about. Them trying to use this for financial stability, like trying to marry you, trying to come in union with you for financial stability. And this right here will make it where they don't have to focus on it's like they don't have any money, but they're trying to avoid some kind of death or something, or some kind of transition or transformation. They're trying to avoid that. And they also want to put it in. Somebody out here wants to put an end to being a hoe, basically. Wow. Somebody is trying to come in to be wife material now after being a hoe for a while, right? Impulsive. You know what I'm saying? They don't, whoever this is, they're not the kind of person that make wise decisions, you know. Oh. This is definitely a submissive person too. This ain't somebody who is very dominant at all. This is a female that's very submissive, which is why I have this Knight of Wands in reverse here. It's kind of like her strength of will is kind of like, it's impulsive in a sense. It's like this person doesn't have any self-control. You know what I'm saying? Whoever this is, they don't have self-control. They don't want you to get away from them, but they don't have self-control, right? They want you for stability. You know what I'm saying? What else? We got the Moon card in reverse. It's like kind of like it give me the vibe of all of this person's secrets coming out. Let's see what kind of secrets we're involved with. Yeah, it's coming out that this person really likes you. You got this appreciation card, or the vibe that I get is that they're going to use seduction to try to draw you in. That's what this is about. Somebody's going to try to seduce you in. It's not, they're going to, especially if you have Leo placements, you definitely need to be careful, because this is somebody who will come in and try to stroke your ego. This is somebody who will try to come in and make you feel like you're the top dog or whatever it may be, in order to get next to you, in order to learn your weaknesses and stuff like that and strike, right? So emotionally, this person feels like you're the Ace of Pentacles, and that they don't have to worry about anything when they're with you. They don't have to worry about money or opportunities and stuff like that. They see you as a good luck charm, in a sense, is what this is. They see you as someone who's abundant and like a good luck charm, whoever it is, you know what I'm saying? So the vibe that I get here is that this person solely wants to marry you for the sake of money. That's it. And the affiliation, they want to be affiliated with you in some kind of way. In reality, they need to take this temple path and do the healing that they need to do. They need to receive from the rest of the world, whoever this is. It's kind of like people don't like pay this person too much attention here. You see what I'm saying? And it's because they don't do the inner work. They need to do this inner work here. Whoever this is, they need to do the inner work. So let's find out what is their karma, okay? And the monad, their karma for trying to be joined up with you. And the dyad, the triad. Okay? So I got 3 different karmas here, right? The monad, the dyad, and the triad, right? Oh, and the tetrasite, the tetrad, right? Okay. And the monad, you have the altar in reverse. They don't hold anything sacred. There's nothing sacred about this person. This person likes to do things on a whim, like I was saying, but there's nothing sacred about this person. This person doesn't hold anything sacred about themselves. They're willing to give up whatever is considered sacred about themselves. They were willing to give up their divinity. They're willing to give up their minds, their bodies, their souls, whatever it is that you ask of them. It's kind of like a sub. Remember I was talking about the dominant and submissive energies? This is like a sub who's being sent your way to be your sex slave in a sense. So somebody here is trying to join with you to be submissive unto you, right? It's up to you to take them in. If you're into that, it's up to you to take them in or not. But this is someone who wants to, it's kind of like it was a backfire. Like this person wanted dominion over you, but you ended up having dominion over them in a sense, because of all the backfire from spell work and dominion spells that they've done. Not just them, but everybody affiliated with them. And because of that, you can assert your dominance by saying that no spell work that they do will have prosper against you, no matter what it is at this point. It's locked in, right? Now, no matter what they do or say, they can never escape that. It's legal binding at this point. So the vibe I'm getting from this is that someone going, like, you going from being what they want to be, like the sub or whatever, to being the dom, right? What you say will make or break their world. What you do will make or break their world. If you got married right now to someone else, it will make or break their world. You are in absolute 100% control at this point. It's all about it's all about knowing their weaknesses and using it against them. Most doms submit subs, they have safe words. Some do it for fun, some do it for money, right? But at the end of the day, they don't like to feel powerless, right? That's why you have probably two people. I was saying it was a masculine and a feminine energy. That's why. One is the dominant and the other is sub, right? And they're both trying to work on you at the same time to see who you will follow. You see what I'm saying? But it backfired because now both of them are attached to you. They can't stop watching you. Like I said, there's nothing sacred about this person anymore. There's nothing sacred. This person is disconnected. If anything, they're starting to worship you like a god. That's in the monad. The monad is all-encompassing energy of the conscious and the unconscious mind, right? Here we have the dyad. And the dyad, you have the underworld. This is the influence of yin and yang energy, like the consciousness. Well, this is the all-encompassing energy. This has to do with the conscious and the unconscious mind, right? Water and fire interflowing with one another. Heat and cold chasing one another. And that alone, you have the underworld here. So I'm assuming that someone here is dying, already dead, or somebody is intertwining with dead energies here. Hand over your known, a shift is near. Take a leap, your journey is clear. So because of this, let me see. I want to double check just a second. Transition, judgment, yeah. And a monad, both masculine and, so like, there's judgment being here, right? In magic, the underworld is a place of transition between one life and the next, a place where you can retreat to replenish your soul and learn the details of your next human experience assignment. That doesn't mean you won't find judgment when you cross the veil. It is often said that how you live one life will determine your abundance in the next. So basically with this right here, the things that they've done here is what's going to detail what happened to them in the next cycle. This is what's going to happen in the next cycle. Like if they've been doing all kind of dark magic towards you and domineering energies, they've been doing all kind of like, they've been doing a lot of, depending on the spell work. At this time, it was a lot of sending, you know, trying to reversal spells to try to undo your money, attack your health, your children, your stability. They were attacking all kind of stuff, right? All the stuff they was attacking, right? That right there, it determines their karma for this next cycle, this new contract that they have. They're in a new cycle now. You're in one cycle, they're in another cycle. And in that cycle, guess what? They're paying for what they did in the previous life or in the previous cycle. You see what I'm saying? Now it's all coming into fruition. Okay. And the monad, this has to do with time. The concept of time, right? Reflection in reverse here, right? Ooh, the vibe that I get from it before I look it up, before I even look it up, the vibe that I get from it is kind of like, I want to say like there was like mirror magic that was going on, but the vibe that I get here is that this mirror magic is reversing back. Like there's like a reversal, like somebody kept using mirror magic, and basically when they're upright, we reflect what we are. So this person here, everything that they've been reflecting is coming right back to them, because only when like something is like this, you know, and you know what I'm saying, in reverse like that is when it's placed in a mirror. So this is all the stuff that they're reflecting back at themselves. Let's see what's happening. Let's see. I'm gonna double check. I try to be as right and accurate as I can, because even though I'm an amateur reader, you know what I'm saying, I'll let you know I am an amateur reader. So reflection in reverse is a sign of fear of change, fear of commitment, fear of what you might see when you look in the mirror. You are so afraid to face your truth that you may be distorting your reality so much that you may not even recognize yourself in your situation. This is somebody who's disillusioned from reality. And I guess it would kind of tie in, but kind of not, because a lot of the spell work that could have been sent your way had to do with, like you could have been dealing with spell work where it was like someone to keep you confused. You know what I'm saying? Like using water magic or air magic or whatever to try to keep you confused, and your emotions and stuff like that. All of this is to cover up how they feel about themselves inside. They're telling their truth to you through the things that they've done to you. Okay? That's what's going on. And when you start communicating it, or when it start getting communicated, that's when it's like, oh shit, like everybody else may not know that it's this person's truth, or they can. But either way, one thing that holds true is that whether other people know that it's this person's truth, when this person hears it, it does something to their soul, right? That's something they cannot escape from. You know what I'm saying? I know if you guys heard someone talk about how your light triggers something in other people, it's this right here. By you being authentic to yourself, this person can't be authentic to themselves. They've shapeshifted into so many people for so many reasons. Like, another thing about it is like when you are dealing with like dom, submissive or whatever, they switch in between personalities. You see what I'm saying? Dissociative identity, in a sense, where it's like when they're in the den or whatever, they're one person, but when they leave, they're someone else. And that's the kind of magic that's going on here. When they're doing the magic on you, they're all nice and sweet, and but when shit hits the fan and it's not the way that they envisioned it going, that's when there's a tag out. You know what I'm saying? All of that isn't because of what they do. It's from the trauma that they refuse to heal of themselves. And the vibe that I got is like, there's a woman who was raped by her stepfather, either raped by the stepfather or the father, right? She never healed from that, but she never really liked men. She never trusted men. Did she marry a man? Maybe. But she never trusted him. She never liked him. But she still would, mess with him for the money, right? Same thing with a man. There's a man out here who was raped. And all of a sudden he liked men. And because of that, guess what? He doesn't like his wife. He beats his wife. He hurts his wife. He mean to his daughters and sons and stuff like that. And that's not right. Because you're repeating that cycle to a son. Like, if you are a father, you are your son's first hero and your daughter's first love, right? How you love her, how you teach her how to love is how she's going to love other people for the rest of her life. If you know your life is fucked up and you know you don't want nobody, if then again, some people, they just don't feel nothing towards it, But you just got to understand, like, how you love is how your daughter is going to love people when she grows up, and vice versa, And a son is a mother's first love, So how he loves her is how he's going to treat women in his life, Next we have the tetrad. Then the tetrad, this embodies the core elements of the world, the material world, and how it, it's connected from the heavens, the monad, to earth. And I'm gonna break it all down in a minute, right? So you have rooted here. This right here gives me the vibe of somebody who's not grounded. They're not connected with the earth anymore. Like I said, wow. Someone is no longer connected to, to the world anymore. I guess we need to see the karma of their senses, because I did do, normally I do, the psychability. But this is really depressing. This is why I really don't use this deck. It is so depressing, but it definitely tells you the karma of everything that's going on. So basically, because this person is trying to marry you, but I don't think it's going to happen because there's nothing sacred about this person. You know what I'm saying? What can it give you? What is there to give away to you? Sacred marriage is a sacred bond between two people, right? What do they have to give away? And then with this underworld thing, it's like, remember, they want you to let your guard down and all of that so they could try to manipulate you and understand your strength and keep you from walking away from them. All of that has to do with them transit. It's like a transit. It's like someone shape-shifting. They're being everything around them except themselves, right? Because they are trying to do this to you, it looks like they're just going to be roaming the world for the rest of their life, being everything but themselves. Because right here in reflection, they're avoiding the transformation. They're avoiding transformation. They, wait a minute. Yeah, they're avoiding transformations, focusing on their losses and stuff like that. And, trying to put an end to being promiscuous and stuff like that. But it's like, you're still not doing the healing work. You can do what healed people do, but that doesn't make you healed. Just because you're walking on both legs doesn't mean that you don't have the injury in your ankle. You know what I mean? So yeah, they see you as good luck and all this other stuff. Like I said, like they want family, they want to tell you the truth and all that stuff, or try to disarm you with the truth and all that stuff. And it's like, you're not even grounded, Like, you're not grounded. So, In the next cycle, the karma that they face with their senses, you have mischief in reverse, right? So basically, let's see what mischief in reverse. Let's see what this is. 25. I wonder if there's gonna be a thing where it's like their senses is gonna be like playing tricks on them. That's what I think it is. Like they're gonna be like seeing shit and shit like that. You know what I mean? Let's see here. 35. What number? 25. Okay, keywords: clever, naughty. All right. Be warned when you pull this card of mischief in reverse. There are people around you who may not have your best interests at heart and will seek to step on your back for their own personal gain. Likewise, the situation may not be as it seems. There could be hidden dangers lying in wait. Be watchful and make sure you look around corners before moving ahead. So it's kind of like whoever this is, it's like their senses are going to be triggered a lot. Like they're not going to feel like they trust anybody because of, I guess the stuff that they put out, you know. All right, so basically how this manifests into the real world. There's nothing sacred about this person believes there's nothing sacred about themselves. And even if they try to believe it now, it's hard for them to connect with their more sacred aspect because they've been transmuting and tapping in and out of other people's energies to be taking on different personas. And because of that, it's keeping them from being able to reach to see themselves who they truly are. This person has a situation of loss of identity, right? And because of that, they are not grounded. And as a result of them not being grounded, they are paranoid energy. Somebody is really, really paranoid. Somebody think people are out to get them. Some people know people are out to get them. If only you could live a pious life and not do all this kind of stuff towards people, maybe you would live a life of peace for once. A life of peace has its inherent chaos, no doubt. It has its desired and undesired effects. But when it counts, you don't have to look over your shoulder and worry about who's with you, who's against you, who's in your way. Because the Most High God sees it long before you do. And once you learn the lesson affiliated, guess what? That's it. That person is done. They're moved out of the way. All right, that's all I got. Remember, be careful out here. There's definitely a community of subs and doms trying to initiate spiritual warfare against people. And you know what? This ties into that Tupac reading I was talking about, remember? That's exactly what this ties into. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I do know, and I'm not saying all AKAs are like that, or all sororities are like that. There may just be certain chapters or whatever, but what I am saying is that they are out here. There are people out here trying to establish cults and stuff like that. So and be careful, because if they do it this way, what is stopping them from doing it against kids and younger people? Because let's be real, like, kids really don't have, like, there's no rights for children. The rights for children are bestowed upon them through their parents. So what if they're adopted or foster kids? Will they have rights is the question. There are some rights that they have, but they can't get a credit card on their own, can they? You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if this is something that is actually being projected, that's happening to a child or something like that. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if all of this is happening to someone who I used to live around or that I lived near, and the person didn't know how to get help. And so this is what's been going on with them, and they don't know how to get help. and they've tapped into something to try to like reach out, then maybe that's what this is. You know what I'm saying? There's a possibility that this is what this is, that maybe there's a child in someone's basement who's been sending me these energies and stuff like that, trying to free themselves, but can't. And every time they get close, there's all these, you know, roadblocks. Because one thing I did notice, is that when I first moved where I was at, it didn't start till I moved to this in particular place, right? Like at first when I put it like this. It really didn't start until I let somebody, a certain person, matter of fact, I dealt with the gossip. I dealt with all of that, whatever, right? So then eventually I moved out and I got my own place, right? And that's when I noticed that somebody did spell work on me. Because at the time, I've always seen stuff, right? And when the night that they did the spell work, I saw the spell wrote on the wall. It was wrote in like oil, right? It was like wrote in oil under a candlelight, right? I saw it as it was being written out, and it was on my wall, right? And after that, I saw a man. It was a big, tall, black man, like figure of a man. It was like this. It was like a little kid, right? A little girl. She was all white light, and she ran through my front door, right? Because I was sleeping in the living room at the time. She ran through my front door, through my living room, and into like down my hallway and into one of the rooms. And right behind her was this real big black figure. It just walks right in. It just storms right in there, and it's chasing right after her, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, nigga, you need to get the fuck up out of here. You don't belong here, right? So I kicked this motherfucker out. And for the longest, like, the little girl is like, she would come and go, but most of the time she stayed there, you know? I never had any problems in the apartment. And the only thing that would happen was like, when my girlfriend at the time would come over and stay, stuff would happen only when she was there. Honestly, I think she was doing it though, right? So anyway, there was a circumstance or situation where we were in the bed and I saw a shadow run up under my door, like up under the door, because the door was closed. I was seeing a shadow going back and forth through the hallway. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? So I get up. No, I think she got up. She just happened to get up and she went out in the hallway. And then she came back and she was like, did you see that? It looked like someone was running in the hallway. And I'm like, yeah, I saw that shit, you know? But it didn't freak me out or nothing like that because I'm used to it. Like, that's part of my nature to see shit. You know what I'm saying? That's part of my nature. Like, that's... And I don't want to be all braggart. Like, oh, yeah, I see stuff all the time. You know? Because that right there is when you see shit you don't want to see. Right? And it scares the shit out of you. You know? But, after that, what ended up happening was, let's see, after that, what happened was, I was in the bed and I started noticing, like, when I was laying in the bed, it felt like somebody would, like, sit in the bed. That's something I started noticing. I could feel the depression in the bed. Like, it felt like somebody was sitting in the bed next to me and stuff like that, right? So, like, and whoever it was, they had a cat. And the cat will always, I could hear or feel the cat jumping on the bed. Because you hear, like, a little, like, taps, like, it's like that, like paws jumping on the bed, right? And, like, when I would smoke weed and stuff like that, like, and this is the reason why I really slowed down and had to quit. That's when my clairaudience kicked in. And I never knew what the fuck was going on. It had me in like this paranoia energy. But when I had smoked weed, I was in this space of where like I could hear everything that it's like I could hear what was going on around me, but I couldn't see what was going on. And that's when I realized I was clairaudient, you know, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And every time I get high, I always will hear people talking back and forth. I always will hear something like one day I had smoked some weed and I heard somebody, like, it was like being in a hall. It was like a hall, like like an after hours joint or something like that, like a hall where it was like a lot of people, like a cabaret, if you know what that is, or whatever. Right? There was no music though. It was just a bunch of people communing, you know, just talking and stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, kind of like a convention or something like that, right? And keep in mind, this is at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, who the fuck would be at a place like this at this time of night? You know, I'm high as hell, and that shit right there, it's like, that's the worst time to find out that you know, clairaudient or got some kind of psych ability, or, you know what I'm saying? That's the worst time. That's the worst time. Man, I was like, man, what the fuck? And then, like, you know, and then I moved, and then one day I was laying in the bed and I looked to my right and I saw the spell again. I saw the spell again. This time it was an attraction spell. It was written by candlelight. I saw it again. It was a candle. And then little by little, I saw the words filling in. It was like a circle. It was a circle. That's what it was. It was a circle, right? Circle of words. It was going from the inside out, I believe. So that's an attraction spell. That was some kind of, you know, spell work affiliated with attraction, drawing something in, right? And I'm just looking at it and I'm trying to read it, but I couldn't read it. I'm like, fuck, the letters on it was so much different. It was kind of like Greek letters, possibly even Latin letters, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, fuck. Well, Latin basically is the alphabet, but it was like Greek letters or something like that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I rolled over and I was in a space where it was like between awake and asleep. And I saw off into the distance. It was like I was looking at my wall, and my wall it's like off into the distance. It was like I was looking at a projector. Off into the distance, there was nothing but desert. There was nothing but desert. And I saw myself in the middle of the desert with an AK-47 walking with gypsies. And these gypsies, it's kind of like I don't know if I was defending their convent or whatever. It's kind of like I was there to defend them. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to keep them from, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, enemies and stuff like that. And I had the wrap around my mouth, everything, right? And what happened was, all of a sudden, I saw a flag. I can't remember. It was an African flag, I know for sure. Or a North African, somewhere. It was an African flag. And I've been looking for that flag for a while now. I couldn't find it. I want to say it was Ghana, but I don't think it was Ghana. I think it had something to do with like Afghanistan or something, maybe, or whatever. But I saw myself defending a convoy of like women, basically women. And the only thing in my mind was that I was there looking for someone. It was a rescue mission that I was on. I was looking for someone for warfare, for revenge, you know. And I don't know how I got the AK because I couldn't travel with what I got. But either way, I know it was fully automatic. It was AK-47. It was bought off the black market, and it was loaded. You know, it was that deal. You know, I had the buffer. I knew what I had on it. Like the recoil buffer was all new. Like it was done. Like, you know, the way I had it shooting, it was like if I was to shoot it, it was gonna be like a real smooth shooting, real smooth shots. You know, it wasn't gonna be like the standard AK where it's like you gotta deal with the recoil and all of that. Like, no, I had it set up like boom. So the vibe that I got was like I was deployed somewhere, you know. And then that's when I snapped back to reality. So that's why, you know, I had thought like maybe it was someone in my area that was projecting as energy, somebody who wants to get away or get out of something that they can't get out of, or someone was projecting something onto them, or you know what I mean? Like, because let's be real, like, a lot of this didn't happen until I met one of my exes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she did it, because it's possible that she could have done it. But also in the same breath, it was like this person she could have pissed off a lot of people too. You know what I'm saying? And that could have been it right there. But the vibe that I got from it was like, it is, you know, it was directed towards me. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I get the vibe that it's being directed through another person. Because, like, you know, a lot of time when it comes to, like, spell work and stuff like that, it's like, you can clean all your stuff up or whatever, you know, clean your energy up, all that other stuff, and then you good. But if you got, like, a lot of enemies, you got a lot of people working out around you and trying to, you know what I'm saying, it makes it harder, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? But then it's kind of like, you know, that's just how it is, man. Like, you know, especially with spell work and stuff. So I guess I'm gonna look further into I'm gonna investigate further into it, and I'm just gonna upload my reports of what I found out. I know that the police was looking. You know, I'm not sure what the police investigation is going on with the police investigation, because there was some spells that was done to try to keep, you know, throw it off track and stuff like that. And there was one investigator that was on a trail where it was like they was wondering how people were ended up dead or hurt and all this misfortunate shit happening to them. And it was all surrounded around someone using chaos magic spells. So we'll figure out how to work with that. Anyway, take it easy. Peace.